This is going to be just a quick review of a new set of test leads. This is a Agilent kit, the U8201A combo test lead kit. When I first started working on electronics, you kind of, used whatever you could get your hands on, made your own, and that worked for years and was fine, but as you start to get into more advanced electronics, and especially today with surface mount components, components keep getting smaller, and those big monster clunky test leads of the past are quickly getting, to be vastly oversized for the job at hand. And one of the big advantages of getting one of these combination kits is you get a lot of different, it's not just your normal test leads with a probe and an alligator clip. You get a lot of additional accessories. Now, I've been using Fluke test leads for years, and it's basically what this is. This is just from Agilent. But, I use Fluke test leads. That's actually what I have here. Where in the hell did it even say it on there? Right there. It'll show up in the light. It says Fluke right there on the lead. But like I say, these are very, handy test leads because, one of the things is, back in the tube days, stuff was easy to get to. Well, stuff's getting smaller, and you need to test leads on ICs. So they have, little additional things. This is what your probe tip would normally look like. But it's very easy to short out against stuff on either side of a, so if these were the leads on a dip package or, an inline, IC or even a, SIP. But it's very easy to slip off and short out or get in between the leads and short two leads together. And in some instances, that can cause damage. So they make these little shield tips. You can see there's actually a little needle tip right in the middle of that. And that snaps on. And then it has protectors on either side, so if you do slip, it's going to bump into the plastic shield, and it's not going to short out in between. The leads have a jack on both ends. You're not stuck with this test probe for the rest of your life. So so they're convertible. That's the same thing with this kit, but come with alligator clips and all kinds of mini grabbers and other stuff. But like I say, the Flukes I'm very happy with, and one of the things that really differentiates a cheap set of test leads, the cheapies you get on eBay from good high quality test leads. Actually, there's three things. The accessories, the strain reliefs. Actually, that's, you don't think much of that, but the strain relief actually is a big part, because I've seen a lot of them, they don't have any strain relief, and then the wires end up breaking, or, they crumble and break. And probably the biggest one for me, personally, is the actual wire itself. A really good high-quality silicon test lead wire. Now, when I do make my own test leads, which I have got dozens, if not hundreds, of them hanging all over the place, I use Belden wire. I get good high-quality test lead wire. It's basically the same stuff as this, but it's very flexible. It doesn't kink very easily, and it seems to just last forever. So let's crack open this new kit here and see exactly what we have. It's going to be basically the same as the Fluke kit, but it is a little different. And right off the bat, I can see the test lead wires are a little bit larger in diameter for starters. And just like with the Fluke kit, you actually get two sets of wires here. Now, interestingly enough, I have to check. Did I get too many? I don't know. Test leads. Almost like there's an extra set. I don't think there's supposed to be two of them in there. Because actually with the Flukes, let me see here. Fine tips, probes, grabbers, clips, probes, leads. Yeah, only one set of leads. I don't know. I've got an extra set of leads. The Fluke kit, when I bought the Master Deluxe Fluke kit, it actually came with this set. And then it had another set where these do not come off like this. They're on permanently, but then you can use the tips on the tips of those. But, yeah, so it looks like I actually got two sets of test leads. But, the diameter of the wire is a little bit larger in diameter than the Flukes are. feels like a good quality cable, but it's a little bit more plasticky almost. This is really rubbery. This one, don't get me wrong, it's rubbery, I can feel it, but it's smoother and slicker. But seems to be very flexible, and actually the bends that are in the wire, you can see they're already starting to, easily give up. So you're not stuck with kinked wire. So yeah, I can tell I'm going to like these already. The strain relief's actually part of the, you can see that it actually flexes. That's one of my big pet peeves is the strain relief on the cables. Let's grab some of the probes. Stick a set of the actual main probes on there. And they come with nice little caps. I think originally when I got these, they had caps on them. Of course, they're sitting over there in one of my little bins somewhere because they never get used. But they're nice because that way, if you're not using it, you don't want to, take a chance of poking anything. Put the little protective cap back on there. It does include the needle probe adapters, which I use these a lot on my Fluke test leads. The Fluke test leads come basically the same thing. They just snap on. Actually, these, I like that. That's actually one thing I prefer. I'm liking the feel of that. The Fluke test leads, they really snap on, and it's actually, I don't want to say it's a pain or it's hard, but it is. It's almost a little bit difficult to get these pulled off sometimes off of those probes because this stuff snaps on here. It's really on there. It actually snaps on that little divot right there in the middle, where these just seem to be spring tension and grip on the entire shank of the body. There's no actual divot that locks on, so it actually pulls off a lot easier. I kind of like that. But yeah, these test leads, and this is what I was talking about, when you're working on modern stuff, that's where the newer test lead kits are really nice. These leads right here for getting on really tiny stuff like surface mount, and even in tube type equipment sometimes, these are nice for getting way down in. So, you've got a bunch of wires and you need to get to that one way down on the bottom. This thing can get way down in there because it's so small in diameter, and they're really hard. The tips on these things hold up really well. I call them hard points because it's probably tool steel or some type of spring steel, but it holds that point really well. So really glad it came with that. And most importantly, what these come with, and I will tell you from experience, the moment you get done using one of these, make sure you put this little thing back on it. The little, I hope I had the right end. The anti-puncture your finger caps. Because trust me, I've done that before. You'll set these things down, you'll have your test lead sitting on the bench somewhere, and you slide your hand into that thing. It is a needle, and it's small, so yeah, just do yourself a favor. The instant you get one of these kits, make sure you put these on. The alligator clips, I'm liking that. They have their newer style, so you don't have to worry about shorting out. They have a built-in, you can see not only do you have the rubber boot, but you also have plastic completely encapsulating the alligator clip. So when you're clamped, especially if you're working on tube type stuff where everything's exposed in point-to-point wiring, you're trying to clamp onto a terminal strip, you don't have to worry about when you open the jaws up if you short out against the terminal on either side. So that's a nice addition. Now these, the ones that come with the Fluke, they're nice too. I like these grabber styles. I like these because these open really wide. But yep, these are nice. I like these. They have good feel to them. They're nice and tight. The jaws don't wobble back and forth. It's one thing I can't stand are cheap alligator clips. Now, since this is an Agilent kit, it came with a set of adapters that the Fluke kit does not, because there are different types of meter ends. So these test wires come with the double insulated banana plugs, and the idea being it's extra shielding so you can't get electrocuted, or if the lead starts to pull out of the socket, you can't get shocked, because if it was just a regular, basically one of these sticking out, if this lead comes out of the meter and something would come down and touch it, well, you could short out. So they came out with these things years ago, and a lot of the test equipment uses that. So if you look up at like my meters here, I've got 3 that stay permanently attached here, volt, ohm meter function, the shield, and then I have one permanently hooked up to one of the for the milliamp meter, but this is a double shielded plug, and that's what these plug right into, the double shielding. The problem is if you're using something like an Agilent or HP, they have these stupid recessed banana jacks. Yeah, well, needless to say, that it don't fit. So that's why the Agilent kit comes with these adapters, so they just plug in, and then you can plug your probe into the meter. But you're still stuck with that, doesn't have double shielding. If this lead comes out, you can see there, you can get in and contact it, so it's not as safe as using it with like this meter here, where you have the true double shielding. But it's nice it came with those, so then you don't have to buy them. That's another one of those things I've got. I've got a bunch of those adapters for whenever I want to use my Fluke leads on that meter. Now this one also comes with a set of mini grabbers or SMT grabbers. Let me get this little teeny tiny twist tie off of here. Yeah, they call these the SMT grabbers, but you can see really fine little grabber guys. So it looks like a nice test lead kit, and these install just the same as the alligator clips. They just plug right onto the end of the lead. So I think this is going to be a nice set of test leads. They look nice, they feel good, you know. I like the features. Now this kit doesn't have as much as what that Fluke kit came with. I can reach up here and grab some of the other test leads I have. Let's see here. Because that Fluke kit came with, so here's the Fluke ones. They came with either the little mini grabbers, or they also come with the hook, which these are nice for grabbing on when you're doing through-hole components. You have a lead, you can just clip that onto. But these are good for smaller stuff, or sometimes clipping onto IC leads, or really small stuff. I think that's about the only things not in that kit. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, and then I have a bunch of other test lead, actually these are these HCK. No, these are Fluke, actually. I'm just not sure. I can't remember. I think these came with the Fluke kit. I do believe these did. I've got, the positive and the negative, the red and the black. I think these might have. That's the thing. I've got so many test leads over the years. I mean, like this one, I think this is a HC. Yeah, this is HCK, really high quality. You see that has, that extra insulation around the clips. Here's another HCK. They're another company that makes really, really good, ultra high quality test lead equipment. That's a bigger set of the little mini grabbers, but all of these use this same style, double insulated. They just plug right on to where completely takes the place of the test probe. So that's one of the nice things is this stuff's universal. So it's you get a set of test lead wires, and then if you even start out with like a basic kit that has just the probes, alligator clamps, and the cables, you can upgrade over the years, and it doesn't matter who you get it from. You can get from Fluke, you can get from Agilent, you can get from HCK, you can get from any of the high quality manufacturers. All of their probes you can get with that double insulated, and then you just plug them right onto your cable, so you're not stuck with one manufacturer's probes, don't work with the other manufacturer's probes, and vice versa. So, really nice. And like I say, I like these, looking at these, I like these, because there are times alligator clips are nice, because these, where the hell did it get to? Oh, it's on the end of the wire here. These things can be a little bit big sometimes, but they're also very nice. I mean, I like them because, see, they have that notch tip. The Fluke's alligator clip has that notch tip, so that's really great for clamping onto the end of a piece of wire if you're doing some type of testing. Well, like I say, sometimes these are better, the regular alligator clip style, so just a nice addition. Lots of extra pieces here. Actually, something I want to see is will that's one thing this kit didn't come with, was these shield, or what I call like a protector tips. I want to see if they'll actually fit. Ha! Look at that. They do fit. So I can use the Fluke, even the the probes that go on just the end of the tip here. Actually, let me see if... Okay, these are Fluke. Says it on here somewhere. Yep, right there, Fluke. So let's see if that will clip. Oh no, hell, that's the wrong end. What am I? I've got so many damn test leads, I'm losing my mind here. Oh, that's what I wanted to try. They're needle tips too. Yeah, everything fits. So everything seems to be completely interchangeable between the Fluke and the Agilent. And actually, something I've noticed, these Fluke tips that are kind of hard, you hear that? Snap. I know exactly what it's doing. It's latching onto that little, like I say, that little divot there. Which I guess, actually that's kind of a nice thing. You don't have to worry about the tip falling off. It's mechanically latched into that little slot. But like I say, it can be a bit of a pain in the butt trying to get them off sometimes. They fit on the Agilent leads, but there's no click. So apparently that slot, well, no, they actually go in even deeper. Honestly, if you look at the tip lead length, the Agilents are a lot longer. I'm not sure. Ah, I just noticed. I've never noticed that before, because I've never had the two probes beside each other to look at them. It's not this notch that these accessories latch onto on the Flukes. See, the Fluke test lead has a groove around back here. If you look on the inside, there's a little, just trying to get, there you go, you can see it. There's three little nibs that stick out on the inside. That's what it actually snaps onto, is that ring there. So that's something I had to keep in mind. Don't grab it here, because Christ, the harder you squeeze, the more it's going to be latched on. But yeah, like I say, there's still, they can be, kind of a struggle to get off, especially if you don't have a really strong grip. I always jokingly tell people I got vice grips for hands. I can take nuts off, nuts and bolts off with my bare hands that most people need tools for. But yeah, it's nice that everything's completely interchangeable, so that they fit right on there. That's really nice to see. So there you go. There's just a quick overview of the new Agilent test lead kit, and I thought I'd show it in comparison to the Fluke test lead kit. So the quality looks, one's just as good as the other. I kind of like the way the Agilent stuff doesn't lock on so hard onto the probes. Tips look to be pretty much the same. These slide-on tips. If anything, the Agilents are a little bit beefier, back here, but the length, they're about the same, so there's really no difference. The test leads, that's what I need to do, is hold it, put a probe on here. I think I'm still going to like my Flukes better. The wire, it's a little bit thinner, and it's a little bit more flexible. Really ultra high quality silicone rubber. Like I say, I'm not sure what this is. This is like it's a silicone rubber, but it's almost like it's got a little bit of plastic to it. So it's not quite as flexible. And you see how it sticks up in the air there, really kind of bouncing around. Where the Flukes, they drop, they're just more, they just drop down. They're really ultra flexible. So it almost like this cable, the Fluke leads might have a little bit thinner wire. I'm not talking about the gauge of wire. I'm talking about the actual strands. So it has a higher strand count of smaller diameter wire strands inside, and those, it's like baby fine hair wire. So, but yeah, like I say, these just are a lot more flexible and don't stick up. Yeah, you can see that thing. It's really, but it's still good. It's still a huge improvement over your cheap test leads. But and that's one of those things. That's personal preference. I've just gotten so used to using Fluke leads over years. But, yeah, I can see me using these on a daily basis, no problem. And like I say, I'm kind of surprised. I don't know, maybe I got an extra set of free wires here. Actually, as many clips as I have, that makes it really easy. That's another thing you can do with these. You can make up jumper wires. So, you can put an alligator clip on one end. And take the one off of my other lead here. And I can... So I can make double-ended alligator clips. or if I wanted to put a a mini grabber on here on one end with 90-degree mini grabber with an alligator clip on the other end, or go from alligator clip to a test lead. So you can do, it doesn't have to be used with a meter specifically. You can make up kind of unique combinations of test leads if you need to clamp onto one circuit and then go in and if you're probing like an AGC circuit, you could clip this on at one spot, a voltage source, and go through and apply that voltage throughout the AGC circuit to see if what part might be working or not working. But yeah, like I said, that's another nice feature, and I've done that with my Flukes. And now that I have even more test leads, it makes it even easier to do because I don't have to worry about pulling these off of other leads to use them. I can have a bunch of extras laying around. So there you go, just a review on high quality test leads. Oh, and actually it came with this. I wanted to see what the heck this was. Is it a screwdriver or a pen? Yep, it's a screwdriver. So that's double-ended. Is there anything in the other end? Ah, yes it is. It's double-ended. So I got a free, we all know how free works. Double-ended with double tips, little cheapy plastic pocket screwdriver. That's another one of those things you just throw over in the drawer and we'll never see the light of day again. But there you go. There's just a quick overview of some good high quality test leads.